Have you ever looked up at a sky full of stars on a very dark night and felt very, very small? It's a feeling that can make you wonder about some really big things. Questions might pop into your head, quiet questions that you might not even say out loud. Who put all those stars there? Who put me here on this big planet spinning in all that space? It is perhaps the oldest question in the world, one that every person, no matter how young or old, asks at some point in their life. It's a simple question, but it's also the biggest one we have. Why are we here? This question is like a little seed that gets planted in our hearts. Sometimes it stays quiet for a long time, but then something happens. We see a beautiful sunset, we hold a newborn baby, or maybe we just have a quiet moment alone, and that little seed starts to grow. We start to wonder if our lives are just a random series of events, like leaves blowing in the wind, or if there is a bigger story that we are a part of. We want to know if there is a reason for our laughter and our tears, for our work and our rest. It's a deep need inside all of us to understand our place in the grand scheme of things. Think of it like being a character in a giant book. If you could only read the one page you are on, you might be very confused. You wouldn't know who wrote the book, why your character was there, or what was going to happen next. It would be natural to want to know more, to want to find the beginning of the story, and maybe even peek at the end. Asking, "Why am I here?" is like trying to find the author of your story. It's a search for meaning, a deep desire to know that your small part in this very big book matters to someone. This big question isn't scary, it's actually a wonderful invitation. It invites us to think, to explore, and to look for answers. There isn't just one answer that everyone agrees on. In fact, people have found very different answers that bring them comfort and understanding. It's like standing at a crossroads with two different paths leading in opposite directions. Each path tells a very different story about where we came from and why we are here. Let's take a gentle walk down each of these paths and see where they lead. One path we can explore tells a story of incredible luck and random chance. Some very smart people like the scientist Stephen Jay Gould have looked at the world and concluded that our existence is a wonderful but unplanned accident. Imagine a giant jar filled with millions of different colored marbles. If you were to shake that jar for a very, very long time, just by pure chance, a certain combination of colors might line up perfectly. This view suggests that life on Earth is a lot like that. A series of fortunate events that just happen to fall into place in exactly the right way, without a planner or a guide. According to this idea, our story began billions of years ago with tiny, simple life forms. A series of happy accidents allowed them to survive and change. For example, maybe a certain group of ancient fish just happened to have stronger fins, and those fins, over a very long time, slowly turned into legs that could walk on land. It wasn't because the fish planned it, it was just a lucky break. It's like finding a winning lottery ticket that you didn't even know you had. This perspective sees the history of life as a long chain of these lucky breaks. This view continues by pointing to other fortunate events. Think about our planet, Earth. It had to be just the right distance from the sun, not too hot and not too cold, for water to exist as a liquid. At one point, a great ice age could have frozen the entire planet, but it didn't. A small species of mammal in Africa managed to survive against all odds, by hook and by crook, as Mr. Gould said. From this viewpoint, if any one of those tiny things had happened differently, we simply wouldn't be here to wonder about it. Our existence is a beautiful but unintended consequence of a long cosmic lottery. So, if this story is true, what is our purpose? The answer, in this view, is that there is no grand, pre-written purpose. We are not here to fulfill a specific destiny or follow a divine plan. Instead, we are free to create our own meaning. We are here because we are here, and the purpose of our life is what we decide to make it. We can find joy in love, in art, in helping others, and in exploring the amazing universe that we so luckily get to be a part of. It's a perspective that puts the responsibility for meaning squarely in our own hands. Now let's walk down the other path. This path tells a very different story, one that begins not with an accident, but with a purpose. Many people around the world find their answer in the pages of the Bible, which starts with a simple and powerful sentence. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In this story, the universe didn't just happen by chance, it was carefully and lovingly crafted by a wise creator. The stars weren't just a cosmic explosion, they were hung in the sky like lanterns by a divine hand. This view sees the world not as a random collection of things but as a deliberate and beautiful creation. This story teaches that God didn't just create the world and walk away. He had a special plan, and at the heart of that plan was humanity. You and I were not an afterthought or a lucky accident. The Bible says that we were made intentionally, fashioned with care to be special. Think of a master painter creating his greatest masterpiece. He doesn't just splash paint on a canvas randomly. Every color is chosen, every brushstroke has a purpose. According to this view, God made people to be the centerpiece of his creation, designed to have a unique relationship with him. So, if we were created on purpose, what is that purpose? The answer given in this story is beautifully simple. We are here to know and love the one who made us. Our purpose is to have a relationship with God, to trust him, to serve him, and to let his love fill our lives. It's like a child who finds their greatest joy simply in being with a loving parent. The Bible suggests that our deepest longings for meaning and love are actually longings for God. Our purpose isn't something we have to create from scratch. It's something we were designed for from the very beginning. This belief brings a great sense of hope and comfort to many. It means that no one is here by mistake and that every single life has immense value and meaning. It suggests that even when life is hard and confusing, there is a loving God who is in control and has a good plan. Colossians 1:16 says that all things were created through him and for him. This path tells us that our lives are part of a much bigger, more beautiful story written by a loving author, a story that leads to everlasting love and life with him. We have walked down two very different paths, each offering a unique answer to the great question, why are we here? One path shows us a universe born from chance, where life is a magnificent, unplanned lottery. On this road, we are the authors of our own meaning, painting our purpose on a blank canvas. It's a view that highlights the incredible unlikeliness of our existence and places the power of purpose directly into our own hands. We are a happy accident, a beautiful moment of consciousness in a vast and silent cosmos, free to make our short time here as wonderful as we can. The other path reveals a universe crafted with intention by a loving creator. On this road, we are not accidents but masterpieces, created with a divine purpose in mind. This view tells us that we were made for a relationship with God, and that our truest joy is found in knowing and loving him. It's a perspective that gives inherent value and meaning to every life, assuring us that we are part of a grander story, one filled with hope and guided by a loving hand. Our purpose is not something to be invented, but something to be discovered and embraced. These two stories could not be more different. One is a story of cosmic chance, the other is a story of divine choice. One invites us to create our own meaning, the other invites us to receive a meaning that was given to us. They are like two different sets of glasses for looking at the world. Through one lens, we see a world of incredible randomness and beautiful accidents. Through the other, we see a world filled with signs of deliberate design and loving intention. Neither path can be proven with absolute certainty in a laboratory. They both require a measure of faith. Ultimately, standing at this crossroads, the choice is yours. Which story makes the most sense of the world you see around you? Which one resonates in the quietest parts of your heart? Take some time to think about these two big ideas. Look at the stars, look at the people you love, and look inside your own heart. The question, why am I here, is one of the most important you will ever ask. The answer you choose will shape everything else about how you live your life. It's an invitation to a great adventure of discovery.